Did you see my son strangling his dog ferociously on that mule? And then how I just let my mule run rampant without any lead ropes or nothing?
Well, we call
We're
that
heathens.
off the chain.
Let all them dogs
Hey,
walk all over the ecosystem, mess up the dirt. It's awful.
maybe I'll start an AWDA podcast called Off the Chain. Heathens
There
of
you
the
You
go.
see what my
Southwest.
buddy said?
Brandon?
No. Gene Akins.
Where? Right now?
No, he put it on Facebook.
Oh.
When you put it on Facebook on Western Hound Hunting or whatever,
Oh, what'd he say?
he called it The View.
Let's see who's on tonight. White County Hounds. Good evening, Oregon. How's the weather?
Hot.
How's the weather? How's the weather? What is it down here? It was good. No wind. Got a little breezy today, and because we was out elk hunting this morning. Yeah, and then Chris, you sent me a link via text. I don't hit links without knowing. Is it valid? What was that? You? Yeah, that was me. You listen. When you watch this, Mr. Anderson, don't text me within the first 3 minutes of watching it and tell me it's stupid. Because everybody I've sent it to has done that. Did we freeze up?
No.
No.
No, we're good.
I don't know what happened.
You can
So
see
if I-
Jared's fan. Jared's fan is going, and we're not frozen.
Yep.
If I sent you a link today, it's because we have somebody that works down there for us inside the building. And they get us all this good stuff. But if you got a link for me today, it's the CBD. It's the is that the Mountain Lion Foundation that put that on?
No,
No.
it's a Center of Biological Diversity.
No, that's not who hosted it.
The talk. Yeah.
I didn't look.
The
they're all
webinar is, I don't know. Anyways, it was kind of
funny how they're Al Qaeda.
it was surrounded by the CBD. Anyways, we'll get into that later. Let's go over. Let's see who's here, because it's going to get dirty, but we're going to be respectful.
Ish.
And it's hard. It's hard to be respectful. But yes, watch the link. Anybody I send a link, and anybody who wants to see the link I've been sending out, go to azwda.com and go to the media article tab. Click on it. Scroll down. You'll see the petition, or not the petition, the press release they released February 27th. And under that, you'll see the webinar they had that just absolutely destroyed us with all their facts. There's so many facts. Okay, just making sure. Yes, sir. It's not me fishing. Mountain Lion Foundation. I knew she'd have it for me.
Where are they out of? Are they out of Cali?
I don't know, honestly. Like, I'm new at this. I feel like I don't know enough. And this is when Dan Gage called us stupid. I didn't get a link, Chris. Oh. It was a different kind of link, Tara. Yes. They're out of Cali, I imagine.
Yeah. I believe so.
Yep.
What? This is me being a smartass before anyone takes me serious.
Okay, let's, before we get into anything.
No.
Sacramento.
I'm
They're out
just
of
going to
Sacramento.
say,
Are you going to clear yourself?
no, I'm done lion hunting. I'm going to start training my dogs lion dancing.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No more.
Dusty.
Yeah, lion dancing.
When you sent me that video of bear hazing, and then they call it lion dancing or bear dancing.
Yeah, and then they go after. I've seen it on the internet where they're going after hounds again, and there's people on here like CA Indian Dog there that is going after them for it, saying, "Hey, you guys said it was okay to do this, and now you're saying it's not okay. You told people to illegally harass wildlife with your dogs, and then now you didn't. And now it's not okay because we want to legally pursue them. They originate in the 1970s.
Now it's legal. Now it's legal to bear dance though with your dogs.
Yeah, it's okay.
You need to clarify that, because there's no way nobody needs to be walking through the woods and stumble up on you buck naked dancing around with a bunch of damn dogs.
Hell, Benny, that's normal nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's normal for me, but I'm old.
And to clarify, everybody was mad at us last week. Hey, we have opinions. You have opinions. Ours are just better than yours, probably.
Right? Generally speaking.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll go over that later. We're going to do the drawing at 6:45. I have a mini Vanna White coming in. I'm doing it old school. And I told Dustin too. I said, hey, I got this thing right here. See it? Watch this.
Oh, bingo roller.
Yeah. And my dad got it from auction.
Can you grease it?
No, I like it noisy. And he got these little balls.
Jared, have you ever been around anything of his that doesn't squeak or make noises as it goes down the road?
It was bent and I fixed it. Hey, I got it. He got it for like $17 in auction. So I got these little balls and it goes to 100. I only bought 100. And I told Dustin, I said, man, I don't want to pick those out. And then I said, man, I'm going to pick those out. But then I've been texting people like, you better get in on this drawing. So if anybody wants in on this drawing right now, you have about, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 42 minutes.
I ran into a Border Patrol agent a month ago, and they were wondering where Chris was. They ran into me, and they're like, hey, are you lion hunting? And I'm like, yeah, I am. And he's all, last year there was a guy lion hunting in here, and he looked like the Clampets leaving.
That was me. Look behind me. Look.
Yep.
That's my RV right there. I call it my redneck RV.
What would they have thought if they'd seen the Bisbees last August?
Oh yeah, they were worse than I was. And my saddles were up there.
Yep.
And check this out. We left, and we got out a little later than we wanted. And then the hitch, the jack, the pin fell out, and the hitch dropped. So we had to stop, and we had to go find the pin because we didn't put it back in. If we wouldn't have done that, there was a fatality wreck out of that road that goes to I-10. I don't remember which one it is, but there was a fatality wreck like literally 30 minutes before that. So remember that when you hit a red light or your hitch falls or you have to stop and pick up a couple kilos before you come back to Phoenix.
That's right.
And he did. Robert asked me this because I'll show you the video. I did. And look, you can hear it too. I figured out how to save it to my program.
Holy hell.
And I tested it on Derek already, and you can hear it.
How many months has he done this? And he finally
I already knew this.
No, he's over a year now. He's like 16 months.
Yeah.
I gave him a hard time today. He called me, and I was like, dude, you got to figure that out.
Anderson already at it. Here we go. Benny's Benny's texting him right now.
That's why Benny's got the picture of the Lorax.
If I win the dog box,
I'm spirit animal there.
Give it to Cody. Here, let me read it. If I win the dog box, I'm going to give it to Cody King. He has donated an astronomical amount of money to keep dogs hunting legally. I'm going to tell you what Cody King's probably going to do because I talk to him quite often. He's probably going to donate it back.
That's the kind
we have these big plans. We have big plans tonight.
The hard part with this raffle is there's so many good people that have put in that there's probably a 50% chance it's going to get donated right back, which is awesome. That is, so I was talking to someone the other day that is not a part of the hound community, and they were asking me about it, and because they see some of the stuff that I share, and I said, if there is one thing that the hound community will do is show up to support each other, especially when someone's in trouble, like a sick kid or someone. Like there's a guy up in, I think it's either North or South Dakota, that his barn with all his dogs lit on fire while he was out of town and a friend was taking care of his dogs. None of his dogs made it out. There was a GoFundMe put up. I think they raised like well over 15 grand in a couple days. Just it's crazy how much the hound community will support each other in time of need. It's awesome. I don't think there's anything like it.
I called TL Jones when all that flooding happened.
Yeah.
And he said he had so much stuff coming in that he didn't really need stuff.
Which is,
they were going around handing out cash to help people get back on their feet.
It's amazing how, I mean,
how bad we hate each other and talk crap, and then
all of a sudden it's, hey, this guy
give you a gallon of gas.
This guy's kid is in a bad spot. You're dang right. I'm gonna do what I can to help support or do whatever.
Yep. So if you guys want to get on to the dog drawing, you got about how long we got?
30 minutes.
You got about 30 minutes. If it hits my phone, I'll play with my little balls and pull out your number. Put them in. I just had to put another number in there. So get on azwda.com and you better hurry. Well, what's going on? What else is going on before we get too much? Because once we start into this, man, we listened to that. The CBD. It's the first. Like I said, anybody I sent this to, the first 5 minutes was, this is a joke. I mean, it's a clown act.
Did any of you guys listen to the podcast I sent you this morning at 4:30?
Dude, nobody has time like you. Just saying.
I was elk hunting this morning, and then I got back, and I was just busy.
It's about predation in Oregon since the lion closure on Steve Nash's podcast.
So you could correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the domesticated predation in Oregon actually happens on horses, from what I've understood. On those big ranches, they kill a lot of colts and stuff. Is that right, Jared?
I'm guessing, like, they didn't really talk about that so much. They more were in the mule deer and the elk and the sheep.
Okay.
On that one. But, dude, I've seen in Nevada, there were hardly any cow predations. But the Mustang colts in the spring when they were dropping, absolutely. They were mucking out the Mustang colts. Now, what we listened to this morning, they had a biologist that was on there, and he was talking about, he's like, if you go in the mountains in the backcountry, there's feed for days for mule deer, but there's no mule deer. It's because, he's like, it's literally all because of lions, bears, and the wolves that are reintroduced.
Mm.
He's
and
like,
where is it? Where is this?
Oregon.
What mountain?
Oregon.
Oh.
Oregon. The Oregon Mountains. Well, not Oregon Mountains, but the mountains in Oregon.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's feed for days for the mule deer. He's like, there's just, they can't survive. The bears are through the roof. Mountain lions are through the roof. And now they introduced wolves.
Yeah.
Well,
I saw, did you see where they killed that collared wolf? They were making a big deal out of it. Was that in Oregon, Derek? Did you see that?
I did see that. Yeah, it was, if I'm remembering correct.
He was a repeat offender with depredation, but also was showing no fear of humans. And so they actually killed him, and holy cow, the snowflakes were bleeding like you couldn't believe over this wolf that got killed. But there was video documentation of him being close to people and not caring. And I think, I can't remember for sure, but I want to say it was over 5 or 6 depredation.
Yeah, I think it was
domesticated livestock that was.
Yeah, I think it was like 7 confirmed, and multiple more suspected or something. It was crazy.
But what do you expect out of these animals that are not managed and don't have hunting seasons? They don't grow to be afraid of people.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's ridiculous.
look at the lions in California. They're getting more and more bold. The bears in California, even though there's still some hunting seasons, but they're getting bolder and bolder and causing more and more problems.
Well, look at Lake Tahoe where you can't hunt bear.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
Lake Tahoe. Wait, is there something going on in Tahoe right now?
Yeah, bear dancing.
Yeah, that's what
that's what it is. Yeah.
Bear dancing.
But it's nuts that people just can't see the conflicts they're going to keep coming, and are like, oh yeah, we'll just deal with these bears, and it's all okay until something personal happens to them, that it's their kid or their dog or something like that happens, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's not okay.
Yeah. Well, it's just they get so attached. I killed the bear. Well, not me personally, but we caught a bear for a guy in Nevada. 400-pound 5-year-old boar. Double ear tagged. He came out of Tahoe.
Yep.
They posted his mama was a problem bear. They posted his ear tag numbers when he was a 10-pound cub, and this little biologist girl is holding him and said, I can't remember his name, like 514 was murdered by hounds today. And I'm like, that picture of him was 5 years ago when he's 5 pounds, and now he's over 400, and he's 100 miles off the border or 50 miles off the border.
Yeah, and he's 400 pounds as a 5-year-old because he lives off nothing but garbage and domesticated food.
Absolutely. Yep. I think he was eating what was it? I can't remember. But yeah, no, he was fat. He was healthy.
I like them fat bears.
These people, they don't care even when it happens to a person or a child. If it's not their kid or their dad or their whatever, they don't care. They want to blame it on the people involved. They blame it on that little girl that got attacked in October or whatever.
Well, look at just an example, and I wish I had more research on it, but the shed hunters in California, where the one brother lost his life.
Yeah.
They didn't throw a fit about that. One, because it wasn't them, but two, because they were shed hunters, so they're outdoorsmen. They're not in with the other side of it, so it wasn't as huge of a deal, if that makes sense.
And their his uncle and dad's in the outdoor industry and stuff. Like it don't matter. Hunters died. It was their fault. Whatever. Yeah.
Even though they weren't hunting, they were still out shed hunting, but they are hunters, and so it's like, oh, they were out. They did something wrong instead of no. It was there's an overpopulation. It was a young lion that was hungry, that hadn't eaten prey for a while, and ended up just wrong place, wrong time, for sure.
Yeah. So, like, this was during COVID, or maybe it was before COVID. This 8 or 9-year-old girl was almost taken out of her backyard in SoCal, like LA, San Diego, down in that country. And, the mom came out screaming, hollering, lion ran off. And, state shows up trying to do, it's a human attack now, so they tried doing something about it. And Child Protective Services got called on the mom.
No surprise.
It was in her own backyard.
Yeah.
We know.
It's a fenced-in yard. It's not like,
yeah.
When Talon got killed, they called in hunters. The sheriff did, and they caught that tom pretty quickly. And they caught 2 adult, like mature toms, on playgrounds, like at schools.
Yep.
And the governor was denying him the right to kill it, and he just pretty much told the governor to shove it. Said it's a public safety threat. I'm killing them all, and he killed 3 of them in one day, all in town limits. Even where Talon got killed was only 500 yards from a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like they were just right there. It's in during damn town, it ain't like they're in the back country.
And that's what was hard to stomach when I was watching some of what Chris broadcasted. last night with all that was they're like, oh, well, look at these states like Oregon and Washington that have banned this and they're doing so much better. And they're facts that they call facts. I messed up there. They're not facts, but what they call facts were so far skewed, and I mean, being frank, were complete bullshit. That it was so like it was disheartening as a human to hear people that just believe stuff that is so far fetched from the truth. Not even being a houndsman, but just being an outdoorsman and knowing and having a general knowledge of the outdoors. It was disgusting.
So what I have tonight, I have the videos they played, and at the end of it, it's a gunshot.
And they even said she made that clip. She pieced those videos together. That's not one continuous thing. They even said she made it. And then that woman sits there and says that last year, 2023, we killed 700 and some odd lions in the whole country. You counting stick hunters and trappers and everything else?
I think that's from 2020 to 2024.
But that's not what she said. He said
no. They said 23.
Yeah. So can we not? I wish we were rich like the Sportsman's Alliance and we could just sue these people because that is a violation. That violates their T3 status right there to say something false.
Let me tell you here's the problem. Hang on. Jared, just curious, how many dogs do you hunt each day? That was Jared's truck where those 30 dogs came out. You guys will see. You guys will see that here in a second. I have that clip. I'll show you how many dogs Jared has. Now go ahead, Jared.
Oh, it depends. Like if I'm hunting day after day after day, I'm hunting 5 to 6 because I don't have enough to hunt more than that. But if I could, I'd like to run 8 to 10 every day. Now, when my buddy's running with me, yeah, we hit 10 dogs on the ground, but we don't go over that.
I have a question.
You guys separate?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're kind of spread out.
But when like one time I was following him up the mountain and there's a lion track right on the road. I'm not gonna leave and be like, well, you go run this one, I'm gonna go find another one.
Yeah.
So what's your and I do it different, so this is just me asking. But so why would you I prefer 6 to 8 on dry ground. Mm-hmm. Snow, I don't really care.
Yep.
Dry ground, and I guess it all depends on finished dogs versus pups, but I generally have about half and half. So I like to keep it below 8 so that pups aren't stomping out and messing up shit, but can still learn. So I'm just curious on why your numbers are the way you are. Not calling you out, just no general curiosity.
Just cause, when we mix up dogs, it's usually like what you just said, 50-50 solid dogs, 50%, not solid dogs. But even the not solid dogs, like my 1.5-year-olds, 2-year-olds, they've trailed enough lions down here that they don't just take off and go after a deer. They're still working the track with the older dogs. And that's why.
Okay, I was just curious, and I just ask because I come from running different dirt conditions than you, so sometimes when I'm starting a dirt track, some of the older dogs are the only ones that can really smell it at first. So if I get too many young dogs, they'll stomp it out and they cause problems. And so that's why I was curious on more than 8 or so dogs.
Yeah. I like 8 to 10, but you can't just have 4 solid dogs and then 4 to 5 or 6 2 years old and younger, because then you're just gonna have train wrecks, obviously.
Yeah. Yep. And that's and that's different. A lot of them, like I love raising pups, and you're a little different than me. You hate puppies, so
I do.
He hate them. He just don't like litters.
I don't like when they're this big. Like someone else can hold them and take care of them. Once they're 6 months old and they know their name, and I can start tone breaking them and stuff, then I'm okay. But yeah. I hate puppies. The little ones. I'm like, just get big already so I can do something with you.
Even then, almost anything under 9 months is frustrating as hell.
Oh yeah. I had a puppy this year. She went off chasing a deer 1.5 miles. And I'm like, whatever, I'll get her at the end of the day. Come around, we don't find anything. Go to the truck, go up this stupid 2-track road that I have to beat my truck up to get into to get close to her. And then after just sitting in the same spot for 4.5 hours, she's just like, you know what? I'm going to go back to where I came from.
Yeah.
And then it's like, cool, now I got to try to turn around on this garbage road and go back. Thanks, sweetheart. Thank you.
But at the same point, that's also nice that has the ability to backtrack herself, because sometimes they do that and they'll be 4 miles into the middle of no man's land, and it's either you got to walk in there and get that dog that has quit, or they're going to turn around and come out and you can get them at the road.
Yep.
I found that when you leave them out, when they pull that kind of deal, leave them there.
Yep.
Go back tomorrow and find them. And do you know how appreciative they are just to see you and the other dogs?
Oh, it's great when you're not in southern Arizona where there's it's people everywhere.
Yeah, Jared definitely has a little bit different environment down there, but I understand what you're saying, Benny. I had a female that wasn't one of mine that I raised, that I got her at a year old just as kind of I needed an extra dog to run on bears, and a buddy's like, hey, I got this year old, she'll trail, but that's about it. But the only problem with her was as soon as you toned her, she would find the nearest tree and lay down, and she would not move. And like, it didn't, like, I probably have to be careful, but you could zap her, anything, and it didn't matter unless you got to within 30 yards of her, and then she'd come. So I left her out for a night. Like Benny said, it was a whole different world. She finally, after spending, I think she spent like 14 hours out there from the time that I toned her till the next morning. And I went back to the same place, started hollering, honking the horn, and she started coming out. I caught her on the road, but it was just something that she would never, even after leaving her out over a night twice, she never would correct that behavior, that if I would tone her, and it wasn't something I did, it was something that happened to her before. Someone was a little too hard with a shock collar and a tone. The handler did some wrong. Wouldn't correct it. So for me, it was a dog that couldn't work. So I ended up giving her to a 16-year-old kid that wanted to do nothing but coon hunt. And she works great for him. But it was
Isn't that
frustrating.
part of being a houndsman?
Yep.
Isn't that part of being a houndsman? You know, if personality conflicts, but you see that the dog's not just a total waste of time, find some place to send that dog where everybody could get along.
Well, exactly. She was so independent that I would kick dogs loose on a fresh bear, and they'd run and tree it, and I could hear them treat 500 yards out, just a good pop-up race. She would walk with me halfway to the tree, and when I wasn't paying attention, she'd turn around and she'd back trail that bear for 3 miles. And I'm like, oh, it was frustrating, but I know she had a nose and the drive. She was just so independent. She didn't care about what I was doing or what these other dogs were doing. She just wanted to trail. And so it was better off that she wasn't going to work for me, plain and simple. So a young kid that just wanted to get into coon hunting and learn, yeah, you can have her, bud. I gave him a tracking collar with her. It said, here you go.
Yeah, my little blue bitch is like that. She's turned into a dead loner now. She just won't be with the rest of them.
Yep. It's hard. And an independent dog can be awesome, but also could be very, very frustrating.
Yeah. I like a little independence because I like mine to do, probably just because I come from a different world. But when they lose, I don't want them to beat it out. I got 2 that'll beat it out, but I like them to blow out there and catch it somewhere else.
The computer.
Because I can't run a big 1 mile loop as quick as they can. If they'll do it, like them two females, they'll blow out big 800-900 yard loops and they'll pick it up somewhere else. While my other dogs are still trying to peck it out, take all day.
And I think that's a different style of dog, but also some of that comes with brains.
Yeah.
A dog that can learn to not sit in one spot, but learn to circle out, branch out, and figure out the lose versus just hammering the same track under the same tree 10 times, for an hour. He'll circle real small, come back, hit that same track under the same tree, versus you'll have a dog that has a little more experience and a little more brains. It'll be like, I can't move it past here. I'm going to do a circle. If that doesn't work, they do a bigger circle and a bigger circle. And a dog like that has the brains and the capability of that is worth its weight in gold, because it will figure out the lose long before the dog that is so focused on the last place it had it.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I mean, I'm no expert. This is just my experience. I promise there's one thing I am not, and it is not an expert. But I will claim that all day long. I am just a peckerwood that likes dogs.
That's how I got these dogs, because I didn't have any, I don't know how to hunt lions out here. So I just, picked up a dog that did it already, picked up a dog that's bred out of stuff that did it already. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to get two that are bred how I think I want them and see how that works. And, I like that. They make them big loops and they're fast, but it ain't doing it for us too bad good. But I like them so far. I don't know if I can get her out of that. I don't know how to get one to go with other dogs that she wants to go her own way. So I don't know. That's the only thing I'm struggling with.
It's good to have a mix of kind of both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't just want 4 dogs that are all going to sit on that track or 4 dogs that are going to range out, because sometimes the ones that range out might not ever pick up the lose, and the one that sits there and hammers and hammers and hammers will figure it out. It's different, and what I expect and want out of my dogs is completely different than what Jared wants or what Chris wants or what Benny wanted. Everybody expects and wants different things out of their dogs, and different dogs. I mean, a great finished dog for me that I think is a rock star, I could send to Benny, and Benny would be like, what the hell is wrong with this dog? he does nothing but eat his own shit and runs. You know what I mean?
Hey, let's not bring that up. Yeah. I got rid of a top-notch dog because she wouldn't quit eating her shit. I was going to run over in the yard with my pickup when she was on the chain. My wife was with me. It almost cost a divorce, and I gave the damn dog away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Benny,
where are guys like that when I have money in my pocket?
No kidding. I mean,
it was free, Jared. She was free.
I would have bought you like 2 bags of dog food and drove and got her.
I had a 2-year-old dog that was a heck of a dog, had so much drive, but the problem is my personality and his personality did not mesh. Every time I hunted that dog, I was nothing but angry. And so I sold him to a guy way out in North Carolina that did nothing but run bears that were hot, fast, and in a hurry. That's the best dog he's ever owned. He says that dog is insane. He will not quit, and he goes day after day after day. But for me, I couldn't take it. I would just as soon leave him home than hunt him, because he made me so angry and frustrated all the time. It just did not mesh. So it's I agree with Benny. Sometimes a dog can be a hell of a dog, but it ain't worth it to me. He's worth it to someone else.
I get it. This leopard I got, he's treated of drilling lions, and he'll find a lose. It'll just take him 3 damn days. And I don't know. I know it's not the right attitude probably, but I like to go fast, boys. If we're gonna lose it, I'm gonna lose it quick. I'm gonna lose it in 2 days. I'm gonna peck after this fucker for 10 hours. If we're gonna lose it, let's blow in there and get over this mountain and then lose it. Let's do it. Turn your wheels on, So if I had a pack full of dogs like him, I'd already moved and just went somewhere else, because I can't hunt these lions if it's gonna be like that. I got to do it fast. If I'm gonna catch them fast or lose them fast, I'm doing it today. I don't want to heck after 4 hours and go a mile. Like, that's not fun for me.
See, and
You
that's
should be a bear hunter.
yeah, bear hunting's where you want to be with that, because dry ground lion, and I'm like I say, I'm not an expert, but I love to watch the dogs peck away at a track and move a mile in an hour, if that, and just watch them truly work that nasty shitty ground and watch them. I mean, I still want to catch it, I still want a tree, but watching them, being able to watch that versus just sending them down the track and seeing them go over the next ridge in 10 minutes, it's different for me. I like to watch the methodical, slow, the really, really work it versus the hot, fast, and burn them. My kids, complete opposite. They love a hell of a great fast bear race. Like they're all about action.
Is that Brandon? Is that Brandon back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's number 78.
Nice.
He just put in.
Winning.
I thought there was some ugly sucker running around behind there, but I didn't want to call your hunter out.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Trying to get a game plan together.
Yeah.
Well, as long as Jared doesn't have on that stinking
Yeah.
beach shirt he had on the other night.
It ruined it. We didn't catch anything that day.
I
come eat
told you.
You guys,
Wearing some
you guys should have seen
sunset,
his shirt yesterday.
sunset beach shirt.
I should have screenshotted it.
It was. We got it when I was in Mexico, and I didn't have any clean clothes last night. I'm like,
Cat Claw hasn't destroyed that thing.
it did.
Yeah,
I didn't feel bad.
Yeah,
It was $3 in Mexico.
And Jared, what kind of dogs you running? Running dogs or treeing dogs? Did you already answer that?
Oh, I don't know. It just whatever. I mean, I won't have a full running dog, I don't think, but crossed up, absolutely.
Yeah.
My best drag ground lion dog was, I think he was an 8th or quarter running dog.
Mm.
But he caught lions in the snow first, and I just hunted year round in Nevada, and it took him a full year of hunting in Nevada, maybe 2 full years and hunting in the summertime in the dirt Nevada before we figured it out. But some of that was me, obviously, too, not just him.
Just hard for him to kind of slow down.
Yeah, he would make a lose. Like the track would get good, and he could kind of push it, and he'd get himself wound up, and he'd overrun it by 100 feet, 200 feet. But then on top of that, I had a Jeff Allen dog that just slammed the track for track. And he would pick up and make the rider left, and then the retard would pick it back up again and take it. And they worked well with each other.
Yeah, good teamwork. One
Yes.
never would really stray off, but one is pushing it hard enough to keep
Like
the
Brandon.
pressure going.
Like Brandon
Yeah,
and Jared.
Yep. Yeah.
We won't say which one was the retard. That
Nope,
loses it,
nope.
huh?
Benny, how many dogs did you run? 3 dogs.
I ran-
1 dog?
I ran between 8 and 10, and all tree dogs. In fact, I went the opposite of running dogs. I had for a long time. I had an 8th bloodhound in my pack. That slowed them down.
Oh my goodness, I would die. I would die.
Well, Derek, I had this conversation with a guy the other day and you come from back east more. That's like straight coon dogs, right? Especially competition.
That's what them females I got are competition based.
So the competition dog nowadays, and I could be wrong. Some of these guys could correct me, but I had a good conversation about learning about these competition coon hunts. They breed these dogs for fast, hot noses because they don't want to trail the 5-hour-old coon track. They want the 1-hour-old coon track, the 10-minute coon track. So they don't breed for cold nose. They breed for hot nose and speed. So
there's 2 schools of thought in that. You got these guys that want to just ambush. They want to fly in there as fast as they can, catch one on the ground, pop him off a bush, get treated.
Yeah.
And then you got these guys, which that was really winning for quite a few years there. But then now they're starting to not win as much with these kind of dogs because you want these dogs that'll take that 5-hour-old coon track, but they'll run it at that speed. Right. So a medium nosed dog that's just as fast as this guy, maybe a tick slower. So you'll go, they won't pass one up, but they'll get there right now. So in 10 minutes, they're in there 0.8 and hammered. And then
Yeah.
you plant them, they might go 200 yards and get hammered. You want to get just anymore, it takes 2-3 coons in an hour and a half to get treed or to win.
No.
You gotta be clean, you gotta be fast.
Yeah, it was interesting talking with him. I think we were on the phone for like 2 hours. Just the education that I got about the competition coon world that is very, very foreign to me. So it was
Oh, man.
interesting about what they want and how they score it and things like that. Because I've coon hunted, but it was always just to keep dogs in shape, and it was hunting versus roading them. So
I love it. I love it. If we had a good coon population here, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking about lions with y'all.
yeah,
That's
I get it.
exciting.
Get it.
5 minutes,
I like
guys.
it.
5 minutes.
Five
I love
Oh,
it, man. Popping them
5
things up.
minutes. You guys got 5 minutes to put in on the drawing, so you better hurry and get over there. Get on that Zelle. Get on that PayPal, or put your credit card in.
Let me answer Robert if you got time.
Go for it.
I didn't necessarily intentionally send any dogs off to get trained, but when I went without dogs for a few years and I couldn't take it anymore, I got some pups, and a buddy of mine in Arizona said, "Hey, he's been looking for some 6-month-old dogs to train."
Hmm.
He didn't want them chasing house cats. He didn't want them doing anything but know their name and come here. And I said, "Well, I got some. What do you want?" And he says, "I just want to train them." I said, "Well, they'll be my dogs." And he says, "That's fine." So I fed my dogs and some of his for, I don't know, a year and a half. When my dogs started contributing to the pack, he wouldn't even let me keep feeding them. Uh, he kept them for 3 years. When I got my dogs back, I was well on my way. And all I did, guys, was if you do something like that and you find somebody you can trust, you're shortening your learning curve. You're not I could have taken those dogs out and I could have hammered on the deal for 4, 5, 6 years and worked my butt off, but by sending them where they got trained by other dogs, because the other dogs speak dog better than I speak dog. And those dogs came back to me. All I had to do was put a pack together and get them one lion. That one lion is all it took, with them leading the show, for them to have the confidence that they could indeed be the leader of that pack. So I didn't seek somebody out, but yes, I have had dogs out and trained.
And on that, Benny, like I never have for lions, but when I moved to southern Utah, before that I was strictly just a lion hunter and hunted bears every once in a while with friends. But when I moved to where there was better bear country, that first year I moved down there, I knew I wasn't going to be able to hunt bears a lot because of work. I farmed out some of my good lion dogs to go hunt with a friend that I had known for a bear season, and it paid off for me. I farmed him out for 2 months. He hunted them on bears straight for 2 months, and the next year I was able to start catching bears on my own without help, if that makes sense. So I think
Yeah.
if you I have nothing against it. If it's going to help you and you're able to do it and you vet the person that's going to hunt them for you, I think it's a great thing, because in the end, it ended up making it to where I had a good enough pack of running bear dogs that a few years later, I started bringing in dogs for other people. I'd hunt 5 or 6 dogs a summer for other people on bears because I had the time and the resources.
Yeah. Hey, I think it's time, Chris.
I'm looking. I think it is 6:45.
6:45. That what I'm talking.
I got the drawers here too.
I a drawer.
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 All right. Spin it, Lyndon. Oh. You gotta get your big heads out of the way. Keep spinning. Spin it. Not her draw. There you go. Out of the way. All right. Noisy. Don't spill them all out. I'll let it spin.
How do it?
There you go. Pick one of them little balls out of there.
And you draw how much you get.
Just one. Tell them what number it is. Tell them what number it is.
75.
75.
75 is Gene Morris.
Nice.
How do I
Heck
do
yeah.
that?
Is he here tonight?
I thought I saw him comment earlier.
Gene Morris. Where you at?
Move it.
All right, we don't need you.
I on this side now.
This is why you don't have my kids in here.
Yeah.
Gene Morris.
Gene Morris was on early.
Yeah, he commented earlier.
I'll be right back.
I can
I
hear
gotta call
them.
Brandon
I
real
can
quick.
hear them.
All right.
He popped out.
How about? How about?
Wow.
Yeah,
Chris, you need to be fixed.
I am fixed. That's all good. I took care of that. All right,
Oh.
shoe slice.
Don't you have more than
We
one
already
set
drew.
of twins?
Yeah, he's got 2 sets.
Jeez.
Yeah, I have 2 10-year-olds and 2 6-year-olds. Yep, it's a lot of elk meat. I use all their tags. What are you doing? But get on. Get back. Go away now. All right. We don't want to hear you snort your boogers. Bedtime, probably. Go get your pajamas on.
Yep. Gene's on here, Chris.
All
He
right,
said,
that's
"Come
my
on."
cue. I'm out.
See you later.
Have a nice day.
There you go, Gene.
Heck yeah. Congratulations.
Yep.
There you go.
Where's Gene from? Aren't you from Indiana? Pennsylvania?
I guess you better come out to the rendezvous and
Yep.
pick up his dog box, huh?
Just need the measurements.
Benny, we gonna get you out there this year? You gonna come say hi?
I don't know. I got other things in the works. We'll just have to see how the timing works out. I was there last year for 4 or 5 hours,
Were
8
you?
hours. Yeah.
I don't know that I got to meet you while I was there. You probably just saw that bearded sucker with Utah plates and said, "Hell no."
I left just ahead of Calvin, maybe just behind Calvin. And I
Oh,
thought, what the hell?
I
I
was
can catch
there.
him. I left
Yeah, he's there.
on my razor. I
Yeah,
had my razor there,
Oh,
and
I do remember you leaving then. Yeah.
and I could not catch Calvin. I never saw his headlights. And I ran the hair off that razor.
Oh, Gene says put it back in, Chris.
Now, we have a plan for this, don't we?
Ah, here we go. The master's about to work here.
And I had a lot of people. 4 or 5 minutes. I had a lot of people that actually put in for this and said, I'll probably redonate it.
Which is awesome.
I mean, that's what I said. Well, what happens when someone redonates it? We have another raffle we were going to do right after this, and it was the same. It was the Garmin raffle. So
you want me to
pick.
ex-
Yeah, go ahead.
explain
Go
that?
for it.
So the Garmin raffle that we did before was you had the option of 1, a Garmin Alpha XL, 2, Garmin handheld, and a collar, which Jared got because
Lucky
Mr. Anderson is nice and likes Jared for some reason.
He likes helping the needy.
Yeah, or 3 TT25s, right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want to do the cash option as well?
Yeah, it's all of it. It's either one of the 4.
So you get the Alpha XL, you get a handheld and a collar, you get 3 TT25s, or you get $1,200 cash. So that's what we did for the Garmin raffle. That's what we've done in the past. We were going to start another one of those tonight just to keep raising money for the AWDA. But Chris had a master plan.
Right this time.
I did. I usually screw it up. So Chris had a master plan to combine it, and I'll let him take care of that.
20 entries. You get the dog box and a choice of the 4.
So dog
XL,
box,
300 with the collar, 200 with the collar, the 3 TT25s, or the $1,100, and the dog box.
all together. One drawing gets you the dog box and one of those 4 choices.
That's a
$100 a spot, 20 spots only.
I can't afford to
It's
do
kind of
this one,
steep,
boys.
but that's a big prize.
I can't afford to do this one, boys. I ain't got $20, much less 100.
Well, what are we doing? Sarah's yelling at me in the ear because I'm on this thing 2
All
days
right.
in a row.
Derek, Jared, I'll break it down for you because I like you. So they
Slow.
donated the dog box back. Gene said re-raffle it, right?
Yep.
So now the raffle is the dog box for the side-by-side plus our Garmin raffle, which gives you one of those 4 options, right? So you can get the Alpha XL, you can get the handheld and a collar like you did.
Yep.
You could, or 3 collars, or $1,200. So any of those 4 options plus the dog box all combined for $100 at 20 spots, Chris?
Yes.
Yes. So $100 to get in, and there's only 20 spots available to win a dog box and all of that. Jared's asking the banker right now. I can see.
I am. Sarah!
And I'm going to tell you right now.
Fuck off. 2 spots?
Oh, God dang.
Sarah, 2 spots.
Oh, she is my favorite person.
Anderson just bought 3 spots.
Sarah, 2 spots.
I'm coming in. Here
right
we go.
now.
I can't do it this time.
So
My banker will kill me dead.
Let's go down to the.
I love you.
I agree with Rick.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Gene. This is what I was
Absolutely.
talking about with the hound
Yep.
community of everybody just pays it forward, and I truly love it, which is why I'm so glad that I got into business doing what I do.
Gene has 3 spots. Robert Chase has 2 spots.
Oh, freaking pickers! I'm getting
You
in.
better. Hey, first
Dude.
come, first serve.
Dude, my Venmo's been acting up too.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I hope she told you to eat it, Jared.
No,
Oh.
she's getting 2 spots. I love you.
Now this is the advantage of watching us live as well.
Yep. Yep.
Drawing for it right now?
No.
No, not unless we get 20 spots. I guess we could.
I'm in. You check your phone, Chris.
I just got it. Dustin has a spot.
I wonder if Zelle let me overdraft my bank account.
Who's this? Who's this?
I remember
Jeremy Purvis. Jeremy has a spot.
the second hound I ever bought. I had $1,600 in my account. I paid $1,400 for the dog, and I still had to drive to Utah to go pick it up.
Now Sarah Fisher has a spot. I don't know about Jared, but Sarah Fisher has a spot.
It says 2
2.
for
2
Sarah.
spots. 2 spots. Yes.
It's not yours.
You okay? Get the XL.
You got a lot of dog poop to pick up.
Chris, did you get that one? That
Yes.
I
wait.
just sent.
Dustin has another spot.
No. Hey,
Wait.
you read that right?
It says Sarah has another spot.
No. Did you read that, Chris?
I'm looking. Is this
Where
supposed to be a memo?
Where you put what it's for?
I have to go. I'm just getting the emails. I have to go to my Venmo.
Okay. Well. So there's one spot for me, and I put a spot for Derek.
Oh,
Dude,
shit.
that- Jesus.
Man, you guys are only together 10 minutes. What happened?
Hey, like I said, I love the houndsman community, and I want to pay it forward. So I hope Derek wins because I hope
Appreciate that.
I hope he takes the dog box, and I hope he takes the
Hold
money.
it. Take all of it.
Let me see.
I guess that's not quantity time, that's quality time.
Frank White
Appreciate
has
that.
Frank White has 2 spots. How many spots is that? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Rick.
12. We only have
Rick.
8 more.
You better go
$100
to-
a spot, Rick.
You better go to the next comments because if I don't know why everyone likes Jared so much. This is pissing me off.
It's not Jared.
No,
Jared Jared, we put up with Jared because of Sarah.
Yeah. Chris, go down 2 comments here.
Which one? How much is it again? I'm sorry. It's $100 a spot, Rick.
Yeah.
We have 8. There's 8 spots left right now. Just going off of my phone and what I've gotten in. Let me make sure. Evan, 3 spots. Robert, 2 spots. Dustin, a spot for him. Jeremy put in a spot. A Louisiana hunting guy. Sarah, 2 spots. Frank White, 2 spots, and Dustin, a spot for Derek.
How many fingers do you have left, Chris?
He's got his boots off. You got to ask him toes.
3, 4, 5,
He's writing, so he's counting stuff.
10, 11, 12. We have 8 spots left.
Picking the right crayon to use.
Yep.
Where's Brandon at? That sucker better get on there.
I know.
He left. He had to go take care of his meals. He brought his meals down.
Oh, he
call-
had a few in the trailer when I met him.
Yep. He brought 4 down.
How's that little
8
beagle dog been doing?
Dude, she's dirty.
I wondered.
She's real good. She's a little mouthy, but man, can she trail.
That's awesome.
We cut a lion track at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Robert
And-
just bought another one.
We dumped dogs out. We dumped that dog out I just bought, my June dog, and that little beagle. And son of a gun, dude. They hit that track and were taking it good. And we dumped the rest of the dogs in. And they're trailing really good. And then they hit the wash went into a T. And all of a sudden, that dog I bought and one of my other good dogs went right. And everyone else went left. So we had 2 dogs going into Mexico and 8 dogs going into America. Because we're about a mile off the border.
Yep.
And I'm freaking out. I'm like, I just bought this dog. There's no way I'm going back to Mexico. There's no way he's going into Mexico. So I'm running up to the ridge and I'm holding that stupid GPS Garmin because I don't have service on him or the other dog. And I pick him up and it says they're barking and I'm like, God dang it, shoot. And I just toned them back. And they both came back and they were on both packs of dogs were on 2 different lions. We hit the wash and we had tracks going like this.
Frank bought another 2.
And then we got those dogs set on that track with the other 8. And they trailed another 1.5 miles with the other dogs. And we got her jumped at 4 o'clock and she spanked us.
You should call your buddy Brandon, see if he wants in on this.
All right, well, do you got his number, Blake? Yeah.
We got 5 spots left.
I'll call
Frank-
Brandon real quick.
Frank bought another 2, so everybody's calling. Anyways, we got 5 spots left and an hour to talk probably. Hang on. Dustin, did you buy another one? Or am I not supposed to say nothing? Dustin. So Dustin has 2 now. So we have 4 spots left. 4 spots left. How many left? Text Rodney. You call him. Tiara? I'm busy. You better hurry, Tiara. 4 spots left.
Where the hell did Jared go? He was telling a good story.
I think he got off the phone and called Brandon because no one had his number.
Oh,
I
that's
should have
right.
called him live on the air.
I
and
forgot.
pushed him into it.
I forgot that he's always on his phone. I should have called Brandon. I have his number, but
Yes, remember last April in Douglas, we pressured. I guess we pressured Brett into buying that knife off of
Yeah.
Terrell
that
Shelley's
kid.
grandson.
12-year-old, right? 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Making beautiful knives.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Yeah.
knives.
Is the undercover guy in? Did he get in?
Oh, there's Brandon. Brandon was quick.
That's awesome.
Brandon has a spot.
Brandon's a
Another
good
one.
guy.
There's 3 left. All right, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Now the real question is, Chris, are you in?
Oh shit! I should probably put in.
I know how to work it, Benny.
Damn it! I'm gonna put in. I'll buy one.
Go ahead and buy 2, and then we'll be finished.
Yeah.
No, we got 3 left. Well, now we got 2 left. If I buy one,
Benny, you want to throw in?
No, I better not. I've been burning a lot of money. If I did it, then I'd have to give it away to that little girl in Montana.
Oh, look, you mean Montana?
Someone should buy her one.
Wayne's daughter? Are they from Montana?
Yep.
Yeah.
He works in Washington or something, and she's living in Montana. But they
Oh.
bought a place in Arizona.
Oh, cool.
Did they get it done?
Yeah. Yep. What do we got?
Chris-
1 left? 2 left.
Chris just bought him another place in Arizona.
6,
Maybe we shouldn't talk about that, huh, Chris?
7, 8. Well, what?
They can always ping his phone.
Oh, Chris bought me a place.
Evan just bought the last 2.
Chris
closed.
Chris bought me a place to come up and hang out close to Unit 1 when I decide I don't like the
We're
valley
neat.
down here.
Hey, I found a place up here out in the middle. Gene Moore.
Uh-oh. Gene Morris says check your
Uh-oh.
text.
Now we're up to 21.
I found a place in the middle of
Chris, let Jared in.
some of that country up there by Chris. I'd like to buy, but shit's expensive.
Yep.
It is.
Hey,
Right,
did you
I'll
get
get-
Brandon's?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got Brandon.
The whole state of Arizona is expensive.
Yeah.
It is. I went and spent some time a couple weeks ago up in Unit 1, Benny. That is some cool country.
I love it.
I spent the night in between Springerville and Alpine, and I truly enjoyed it. I spent some time in 4B on my way home, and then this last weekend I went and spent some time up in Unit 8. That's some cool country too. I'm just trying to explore as much as I can while I can. So I've enjoyed it.
That's what I've been
wanna
doing. I think I'm gonna go to a whole new piece of country and hunt with Michael here soon. Just get in some new stuff I haven't seen yet.
Yeah,
I
that's
try to
what
hunt everywhere I can.
it's my favorite thing is seeing new country.
Yep.
If you just want to take a drive, go there at Alpine and go south down on the blue.
Mhm.
And just when you go past the school, there'll be another road, Red Bridge, or not Red Bridge, that's out here. What the hell is that?
Yeah,
Is it Red
red
Bridge Road?
roof something. Yeah.
Anyway, that'll come out over there about 8 miles north of Hannigan Meadow on 191. And if you'll turn and go south, and that'll take you on one of the coolest pieces of highway, and you'll come out there at the copper mines at Morenci.
Okay, I'll have to do that. One of these days I need to get on the phone with you and pick your brain about some stuff around the Prescott area, stuff like that. I'd really like to learn some of that a little better. So
We know people with my phone number.
yep, we do. The problem is getting him to focus on things when you talk to him.
Well, talk to Jared.
There we go. That's better.
Gotcha.
All right, Chris, where you at? You're writing so you can do this thing?
We're done. Yeah, I'm putting it on the wheel. Should I put it on the wheel?
Well,
Did Gene make it in?
I think, I don't know. He said he was too late in the chat. I
No,
don't
he
know
didn't
if
make
Chris-
it.
Oh.
Yeah. Or should I just spin that thing and draw till I get something between 1 and 20?
I'm good
Yeah,
with
just
whatever.
do that. It's easier than the wheel.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, I would just roll the bingo thing till we get one in there because the wheel's kind of a pain. Yeah,
Good, because then you guys can hear it squeak.
we love it.
Oh, let me talk about something. Let me give everybody a number. Oh, I kicked him out on accident. Let me get everybody a number first.
All right.
While you're doing that, Jared, what's the chance that if you'd have let those dogs work, you'd have caught a lion over there against the fence?
I don't know. They were trailing good. They don't get me wrong. They could have done it. I have no clue. It was the dog I just bought and another 2.5-year-old, 2-year-old with them. But they were trailing good. It could have been 50-50. But they did trail it. We did get on that other line and get it jumped and going. It's just we were 2.5 miles from the truck in a hellhole, and we had to get back to the trucks before dark, or we had to get out of the rocks before dark.
Mm.
Otherwise, we were going to be sleeping up there.
The Matt LaRue says Red Hill Road. That's exactly right. Thank you, Matt, for
Right.
bailing me out.
Oh,
Is that good country to hunt over in there, Benny? I got that
Yeah.
pinned on the next to check out.
It is. It's good country to hunt as long as you got mountain goat in you.
Bad.
Well, just drive through it once.
Oh, I got a funny story, though. So my buddy's got this dog that he just bought, and I got my dog that I just bought. And we're trailing this Tom yesterday. And me and him are pulling our hair out. And we're just all, what the F is going on? This lion do this. I think he did that. I think he did this. And it's like, no one knows what's going on. And we're looking at, we didn't have all the dogs out. We just had 3 dogs out. My June dog is really, really sticky. Like she'll hit a track, and she just did what Dustin hates. You know, she'll circle 10, 20 feet, go back, open up, start it all over again. And she wouldn't push off of it. Well, the other 2 went and tried to push off of it. And they're coming down to this road. So we're going down to the road, and my hunter, he looks and he's all, is that a coyote? And then like 10, 20 feet behind the coyote is these 2 high-dollar dogs, not barking or chasing, just following this coyote with their head up, just kind of like he's a buddy. And I'm just like, what is going on? And I just, hey, I yell at them, and they're just like, oh, yeah, we'll come over there now.
So, Jared, how long have you had dogs?
10 years, almost 10 years.
So you still got some learning to do.
Oh,
So
yeah,
let me
tons.
tell you what just took place right there.
Okay.
Those dogs were new in their environment.
Yeah.
Like you got a Texas dog. I don't know where this other dog came from, but and
Central
they're just
Arizona.
well, but they're all new and they're together. It's like, hey, you know anybody from the hood down here? No, I don't know anybody. Well, hey,
Yep.
look there's a guy over there. Let's go see if he knows where there's a party. They weren't after him. They weren't trying to pick a fight. They're just
Nope.
trying to get to know people.
Yep. We were talking about that. Me and the hunter, when we got back in the truck, he's like, what was that? And it's just, I don't know. I've never seen that before, but it was just, I was like, they were just kind of buddying up.
It's crazy when you buy a dog, and that's, I think, what's a lot of people are
They don't
wrong
understand,
about,
Dustin.
but
Yeah.
they don't understand that you take a dog out of its home environment, which could be, even though I live 2.5 hours from Jared, its home environment is me and hunting with me and my dogs
Yes.
in
exactly
this
right.
country. And you
Yes.
put him with Jared and a whole bunch of new dogs, even though the country could be similar, that's a whole new world to that dog.
Yep.
And it might take that dog a month to really settle in and show Jared what he's made of.
The
Might take
dynamic.
longer.
He is doing really good. Him and that other little girl, because we've trailed, I don't know, 3 lions so far since we've been hunting together. And, well, with them 2 dogs together, I should say. And the day before, it looked like, because we had them mixed pack in, like we had 10, 11 dogs out. He had his dogs, I had my dogs. They acted, I don't know, it could have been just a good track. It probably was just a good track, because they acted like they never missed a step. And then the next day, Yeah, we had some hiccups, but the track wasn't. I mean, the track was spotty and spot and go as it gets. But
But
yeah,
look what Dustin just pointed out, and people don't.
you can say
If
me,
you can't,
Benny.
no, not you. I mean, people in general in this hound dog community. These guys that haven't done a lot of mixing and matching and haven't changed dogs out and haven't done all of this and haven't been exposed to it through somebody else real close to them. You guys
Hmm.
don't understand that it takes a long time sometimes for the dynamics to settle in, for the dust to settle down and everybody to gel together. And we had this discussion on another one of these nights where, you know, people are so bent that you got to test the dog. You got to test the dog. And I came in as the odd man out and I said, I don't, because I only would do business with somebody that's got a reputation for a stellar, upstanding kind of person. And if you do business with those people, what they say is what they mean. And if there's a glitch in the deal, you can go back, explain it to them. They know enough about the situation, they'll make it right. And I don't, 30 days isn't always enough to find out if you got your money's worth.
Yep. Well,
That's exactly
just like
right.
remember when I called you when you asked me the first day I took that dog out,
Yeah.
and I was just like, well, it was the first day, and you could tell it was his first day. And then these last trips, he's starting to show up, and he's showing up really big.
Well, I'm telling you what, you got a smoking deal, and for a dog that's just a little too mouthy, some guys don't like it, some guys can tolerate it.
Yeah.
And for the caliber of dog that you got, let's leave the genetics out of the deal. Just the
Mm-hmm.
caliber of dog for the lions that dog's seen and the terrain that dog has been hunted in, the conditions,
Yeah.
you got your money's worth, whether you like the dog or not.
No,
Yeah.
he is a dang good dog. Like that line that we got jumped the other day. And it's really like so when it takes this is me, Benny, you can call me an idiot. It takes 5 things to
All right,
catch
let's get that out of the way.
it.
Oh, God.
it takes 5 things to catch a dry ground lion. You got to find the track. You got to go the right direction on it. And then 3 and 4 are kind of the same. Time and distance. How many hours you're behind the track, how many miles you're behind the track or yards or what have you. Number 5 is pressure. If you have a dog that can smell a 2-day-old track, but he doesn't get up and push it when it's jumped, you're never going to catch him. And when we jumped that line, all 3 of us were standing on top of this ridge, and we're a ways from the truck. It's getting late, and I'm like, all right, if they hit this saddle, we're just gonna pull them because they were trailing good, but we're getting far away. And if they hit that saddle, they weren't going into good country. They were leaving this rock cropping, and they hit that rock cropping, and next thing you know, boom, they're screaming out of it. They're going down in the wash, and they're head up moving, every one of them. And then he went into a terrible spot,
Yeah.
and we still didn't get him, but we let the dogs work it out once we got there, and but that they were moving that track at a run,
Yeah.
which that's impressive in the drag ground because I've seen dogs, even some of mine, the older ones, like my Mo dog before he retired, just he would push it, but he wouldn't get up and go on it.
And that's a different trait.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
a dog that's track to track to track versus a dog that's track to track to we're up and moving, we're gonna pick up and go with it now.
Yeah.
A whole different style of dog,
That's
kind of.
exactly right.
And a lot of guys, when it comes to switching, and I've seen it both ways, but guys that go from running bears to running lions, specifically dirt lions, is sometimes it takes 2 or 3 lions to slow those dogs that have been running bears back down to
Mhm.
learn that they can't just blow through it. And some dogs never figure that out. It's always just balls to the wall. are always just track to track to track. Some of them can't
Yep.
figure out that sweet transition. And when they figure out that sweet transition, you got something special for sure.
Well, I had a dog I got as a pup from Roland Rice, and I love that dog, but she would not slow down and grind out a lion track in the dirt. But I saw enough in that dog. I knew the genetics and I knew her capabilities. So I gave that dog to a guy in Eager, Arizona. And I had to beg him to take the dog. He couldn't believe that somebody would give a good dog away. And I said, if you'll just take this dog, I said, you're going bear hunting right now. This is your dog. If you'll take her and give her a try, that's all it'll take.
Yep.
And they didn't hunt that dog very much because everybody loved her so much that she raised a litter of pups every 6 months.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to evaluate your dogs and evaluate your conditions and your situation and know exactly what you're looking for in your dogs because everybody looks for something different.
Definitely, Benny. And on top of that, evaluating your dogs and what you want, but also you gotta evaluate yourself and what you expect and what you think you need for where you're going and what you want to catch. And really hone in on your expectations before you bring in dogs for sure.
I think that's a big part of my problem. That's why I haven't caught very many. It's because I just go make big circles. They get on one, and I'm just dumping the octane to it. Then we lose it or we don't. I feel like we get on one hot, then we pop it up. Easy, lucky day. And
Good luck with all of that.
And
well,
patience is hard.
all
Yeah.
about the luck. And then it seems like I just make big circles till I get lucky. I think that's why I haven't caught very many. But
Well, my best advice that I've ever given a client when I've been guiding, like Jared does, on bears or lions, is the minute they hear those dogs bark, they're excited. Adrenaline's through the roof. They're like, "Oh, hell yeah, we're gonna catch this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this." No, the biggest thing about hounds is it's a waiting game, and you can't let your emotions and the adrenaline get to you the minute you hear that dog bark, because in the end, it's a patience game, and it's a time game. That track might be 10 minutes old. That track might be 5 hours old. You don't know until we really start digging into it. So patience is a huge thing when it comes to hounds and learning the game of it, I should say.
Let me jump up here and answer Rick real quick. Rick, I did not get that dog for Jared. Jared did that all on his own. Jared and I had talked, and when he came up with that dog, I said, I think that's going to be a good deal. As far as another dog of that caliber for the money, I'd tell everybody I would talk to Jeff Allen. Jeff Allen sells top-notch dogs cheaper than everybody else. And whatever Jeff tells you, you can take it to the bank. Um, Sarah, do you prefer male or females? They both have their place, just like you, Sarah, versus your husband in 7th and 8th grade. Females are
Here we go.
a whole lot easier to get along with and stay focused. Males have got their little tallywhacker running around humping down rabbits and doing every kind of stupid thing there is. But once you get a male focused and get him lined out, it's hard to beat. But I don't have any preference. I hate males with bad habits, and males typically have bad habits. I think they should come with an elastirator band around the end of their penis.
I've it, like just blind answer. I prefer to hunt bitches usually, but then like right now, my best one is coming season, so she'll be out for a month, and I hate that. But with male dogs, it's like they seem like they just you don't got the same dog every day. That's why I like a bitch. She's gonna be the same dog day in day out till she's too old to go. I've found that to be I don't know. I tend to get along better with them, but
And like I'm the opposite. For 90% of the time, I run all males. I don't like dealing with the females and the in heat. And I agree with you. A badass female is pretty hard to beat until you bring in a bad male. And for some reason,
Yeah.
and it can vary, but a nasty male kind of just sometimes has that edge. That
Yeah,
can
yeah.
really push it. But I think a bad female can also have a little bit better brain. I mean, you put testicles on something and it makes them stupid. We all know that.
Well, you don't see a female following a male around like a
No,
dummy.
but and that's why I got away to where I wouldn't hunt females. I had all males. Never wouldn't own a female, and unless I was planning on making a cross with someone else, I cut them all. Took the stupid out of them, and just left that male there. But a good male with his nuts intact sometimes is a bad mofo that's hard to beat.
Can I piggyback off this question?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which one's easier to produce? A bad female or a bad male?
I don't have the experience with females, so I can't tell
I
you.
would say a female. I've had a lot of better luck just getting. I don't know about bad, but to get one that's like really good and like serviceable and solid. I feel like get a female lined out a lot easier.
Could you make like what level 4 dogs? Was it easier to make 4 level 4 females? You know, or is it easy to to get a level 4 female over that level 5 male?
Well, put it this way. I think a lot of it.
That question, right?
I think I understand what you're saying. I think a lot of it's handler because a heavy-handed handler is not going to work as great with females as they will with males. And some handlers can vary and work great with both, but some females are just, and not all of them, some females are just as hard-headed and just as pain in the ass, but they definitely sometimes tend to be a little more tender-hearted. So if you're a more heavy-handed handler, females struggle with you versus someone that's a little lighter.
I think you're right. I think you're right with that one.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the handler for sure.
A good dog is a good dog. The handler will make the dog.
Okay.
But I sure like females because they hunt hard.
They do.
Yeah.
They do, but you get a hard, dirty, cold-nosed male with his nuts behind him. He's out to prove something, and he's out to prove it hard.
Yeah.
And you can't fix a female because she gets too damn fat.
Yeah. I will say,
I don't know about that.
Cup males. I never had
my
a
best
cup
females
male.
are fixed.
I never had a cup male until this one, that Leica cross I got. We cut him, and I tell you, I could not tell you how much I thought that dog was going to be a jet. I took him because the missus got him, and I'm like, I'll throw him in there. He'll me too around and be a useless piece of junk. Dog's kind of a monster. I look for him to be right there doing stuff, and all.
It changes their focus.
I'm a firm believer that if you are not 100% planning on breeding a male, cut him. It prevents dealing with females in heat, but it can take the stupid out of them. But I also think you shouldn't do it later in life. I think between 1 to 2 years old is a good time. If you wait till they're 5 or 6, sometimes it can mess with them, and they don't quite come back the same as they were before. And maybe that's just my experience. It could be different. Some of these, Benny's probably has more experience. Maybe Chris. I don't know. I don't like cutting male dogs later in life. I think they should be cut between 1 to 2 years old, kind of once they fully developed, and go from there.
I don't like cutting males in general because I just have had my line since 2008.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid to cut them, and then they turn out good, and you're screwed. So I kind of try to put a handle on them. And I've only probably since 2008 had 3 or 4 bad fights. And that was because of a jip in heat. That's all it was.
And so I go ahead on the chat, but I agree with Hazlitt Hounds. If you're not sure, but the dog's being an ass, collect them, cut
Yep.
them, and see what they turn into. Plain and simple. You can keep semen on ice for years. So
We cut this guy because I wasn't breeding him. Even if I was hunting like other Lycas, I wouldn't gonna breed that cross in because I think we got dog lucky on that cross turning out like he is. Because on paper in my head that seems like a terrible idea.
I've cut males only to save their lives because it was me or them. And at my house, I always win. And so I bought a dog that was 6 when I bought him, and he was obnoxious, always wanting to get into fights and he wasn't contributing enough. And I was thinking, what do I do with this deal? And somebody said, well, have you ever considered cutting a dog? Well, hell, yeah, I'd done that in the past and it worked. So I cut a 6.5, 7-year-old dog, and he woke up at the vet with the most charming personality and went on to focus and hunt.
yeah.
Yeah. That's the way this one was. He was an ill bastard. I mean, he wouldn't fight everybody. He'd fight the bitches, fight the other males. He'd fight his shadow. And I was like, you got to cut him or he ain't gonna make it, And he come out of it a whole different dog. Just
Oh, I get that, and I'm a little different. I'm probably a little more like Chris, but my kids always handle my dog. So if I see any mean in a dog, whether it's towards other dogs or anything, I won't deal with it because I know that my kids are going to handle that dog, and I'm not
Yep.
taking that chance. So if he's an asshole to another dog, it ain't happening because I don't want my kid getting in between that. If he's feed aggressive.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's
happening.
not just between the dogs. It's everything. Handling, feeding.
Anything, unless it's dealing with a bear or a lion. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's great. If he can turn the grid on and turn the grid off, I truly enjoy that. But if it comes to any sort of aggression any other way, I
Yeah.
will not deal with it. I'm like Benny. I will sell a good dog that is a little bit aggressive somewhere else that I don't like because of my kids. Because 90% of the time, they're the ones feeding them, taking care of them, cleaning up the shit. Plus, they hunt with them. So it's just not a risk I'm willing to take
Yeah.
for me.
And I get what you're saying, Dustin, and I never saw it like that. I'm such the alpha at my house that my wife has threatened to call the cops on me a time or two. And I tell her to get her ass back in the house or go to town or whatever. When you start this education, you cannot stop midstream. And I can tell you that the Humane Society would have me in prison when I'm educating a dog. Just who in the hell is on top of this situation? And
Yep.
so
And I
handling
understand
them
that.
to that extent, but most people don't want to treat their dog like that. However, at my house, I rule, and if you don't like it, you're going to get through this and live, or you're not going to get through this and die. And I don't give a shit at that particular moment.
Yeah. And I, like I said, Benny, I understand that. I think I'm trying not to say this and sound like a goddamn snowflake, but the next generation and the so many eyes watching, if I'm not in the right place in the right time, I don't dare be that person. So
Oh, I get it.
I've modified from that, if that makes sense. Because
Sure.
I've been
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
I've been there, I promise. But
No, but that's exactly
nowadays,
how come I traded that good male dog, a young
yeah,
male that he was the best young male I had going, and I traded him for a saddle. That saddle maker just thought he had to have him, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to kill this dog. If you really want him, let's make a deal." He says, "Well, I can't afford that dog." I said, "What if I buy the tree and you build the saddle?" And he said, "All right." And it took him a year and a half to build my saddle. A lot of saddle makers are like that.
they are
And
the
every
good
time
ones.
I'd go over there to his house and that dog would start raising hell with me, I thought, "You piece of shit, he hasn't built my saddle yet. I could kill you." you know? And so with that mentality, that's how come I have to get rid of dogs sometimes.
Mm, and I get it. And that goes back to the handler thing we were talking about
Yep.
earlier. The way I handle my dogs is completely different than the way Benny's going to handle his dogs, and he's
Mhm.
going to expect certain things. that I don't expect, and
Absolutely.
I'm going to expect certain things that he would not. So
Yeah, that's exactly right. And every new dog is going to push the limit, push the
yes,
boundary, and try to figure things out at some point or another. It's just a matter of who they're pushing and how hard they're pushing and whether or not that person recognizes it.
especially if it's a bought dog versus a raised dog.
That's exactly right. That was my point. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, it's like everybody's got their own preference. Like I'm a big recall. If I can't recall you from as far as I have signal, I can't deal with a dog I gotta go get.
Yeah.
I just won't deal with it. I'm too spoiled. If I can't
Yep.
call you across the river or whatever, I'm not dealing with that. I better be able to drop that tone and here you come.
Yep.
Or we're not gonna get along, you know.
Yeah.
And
I get that. You know, I'm the same way for the most part, unless that dog's hunting and I know he's on something good and he's battling between listening to me and doing what the hell he was bred to do.
yeah,
That's
What about
where I have a little leeway. But
I don't
we'll
mind
let Chris hop in.
them giving I don't mind them giving me a hard time like toning all like if they, they're on a bear or something,
Yeah.
like yeah, it's different, but yeah.
what do you think about that? I have never understood you guys out west hunting cut males. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. We know how that is on this show. The male dog not worthy of breeding is not worthy of hunting. So I won't keep them. What do you think about that?
I think
Well, go
that
ahead.
my fastest, grittiest, probably my hardest driving bear dog is that cut like a cross. And I cut him because I won't breed him because I don't have any females that I would like to make that mix with. But he's a sweetheart and he's got a great handle and he's a hard charging dog, man. Like just because you don't want pups out of him, don't make him good. And just because he's good, don't mean he's going to make pups. There's world champions out there that can't throw a pup to save their life.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
and it,
I brought this up before.
go ahead.
Michael Jordan's got 3 boys or 2 boys.
Yep.
Did they even play college basketball?
I'm not sure.
No, they weren't stellars if they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
And he's the best of all time to ever touch the basketball.
Yeah.
But are they burnt out? When you have kids,
Well,
you raise them, take
it's
care
hard.
of dogs. They don't
Maybe,
get
but-
back in the dogs till they're like 20s, and they're like, I wish, or 30s. I wish
Well,
I
look
would
at
have
them-
learned more.
But then you have the Mannings. You have Archie Manning, Peyton
Yep.
Manning, Eli Manning.
Yep.
Just
Not
Well,
everybody's a producer.
Well, yeah, it's not a producer, but also to what this guy said, that if a male dog, if it's not worthy of breeding, it's not worthy of hunting. And this is, like you said, it's just your opinion. But if that dog's contributing, just because it's not a superstar doesn't mean that it's not a good dog. Also, it could have certain traits, body wise, conformation wise, that I'm not looking for. He could be a hell of a dirty, cold nosed trailing sucker, but can be shitty on the tree, or have a little bit bad feet, can only hunt 3 days versus 5 days, like the next dog. And like we were saying, some of them just are not producers, and that's a science I can't figure out. If someone could figure out the science of breeding dogs and which one's going to be a producer and which one's not, it'd be awesome. I'd really love to read that book.
You need
But
to
like
go
I
to
say,
California.
You need to go
No,
to
no,
Pennsylvania.
no.
it's
You really need to sit down for a week with I bought dogs from him. He's a government hunter. He lives he lives about 100 miles from Steve Galentine.
I,
Steve Galentine has the science figured out. And there's nobody that I know of that has it figured out like Steve does. And
see,
he can tell you exactly when he makes a cross, exactly what it's going to be.
which is I will get with Benny, and I want to talk more on that, because I've seen some of these well-known dry ground lion hunters that have a phenomenal dog that they've bred that is just not a producer, and the next one throws amazing pups and is a hell of a producer, litter after litter after litter.
Yeah.
And I think it goes, female is just as much of a part of it,
Yep.
but sometimes a male dog is just not a producer of his capabilities.
I've had
Randy,
dogs. Have had
Randy-
dogs make top dogs at 3 years. Kids laid claim to them and saved their hide. Super glad for kids' opinions. Answer for Sarah.
Mm.
There you go.
Well, isn't what is it that Brett always said? Was it Henry McIntyre or somebody told him that they might not be doing anything right, but they're not doing anything wrong.
Yep.
And so what are you
Yes.
it gets back to the patience deal in my world. You know, I said that go back to the comment about if they're not worthy of breeding. Well, I said I cut dogs to save their lives, not because I didn't necessarily think they weren't like my Derek dog, the 6-month-old male that I sent over there to Brian Jennings. Brian told me, he said, you know, this dog's claiming every tree, this dog's claiming every lion, this dog's claiming, and he's 7 months old. And I said, so kill him. He's not worth your expensive dogs. And he said, no, this dog will make it. And I said, so what do you want me to do, Brian? He says, well, I was thinking, uh, you know, what if we cut him? And I said, I've cut dogs in the past and it saved their life. Take him to Pace and to Lorenzo and tell Lorenzo to send me the bill. I'll take care of it. And I wish to the day Derek died, I wish I could have bred to Derek. And he had an aggressive trait. But I can overlook that stuff to a certain extent because I can be more aggressive.
Well, so I have something to talk on that, Benny. I know a very well known lion hunter out of southern Utah. I won't say his name because
Because
but
you're related to him.
no. Anyways, so he had dogs at a lion tree, and he can't prove who did it, but he had 4 or 5 young dogs and 2 good dogs, and something happened at the tree, and the young dogs stretched the good dogs. And so you can't prove what it was. So he just went in and he cut every dog that was at that tree that survived, and it never happened again. But going back to kind of like what you were saying, the aggressive things sometimes aren't worth the breeding,
No,
if that
that's
makes
and
sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it depends on how there's so many factors to figure into this thing. What level of aggression is it? And
Yeah.
what's your overall dynamics of your pack? And you know, I had another young male dog that was a top-notch dog, and this guy, this guy's dad gave me this pup, and he was absolutely a barn burner. And the guy says, you know, his dad passed away, and he says, I'd kind of like to have some of my dad's old blood back. And I said, well, just here, take Socket. Really? You give me Socket? Yeah, take Socket. Well, but I said, if you want your dog's blood, there's a dog. I've got 20 more dogs. Take this dog. So he was trying to butter up some other guys that were bear hunters. He gave my Socket dog to those bear hunters. They didn't do anything except throw him in the back of the pickup, not separated dog boxes. Everybody's in the same deal.
Cause
They get
problems.
to the mountains. Those the dogs that the guy owned, let's just say his dogs, jumped out of the box, turned around and watched the pickup. And as soon as Socket hit the ground, they bowed up and ran over there, and 3 dogs bowed up and growled at Socket. Socket did the only thing Socket could do.
Defend himself.
He growled and he snapped and he spun around like you sons of bitches, and they shot Socket in the head.
So that's on the handler in the
Well, that's
situation,
yeah.
plain and
So
simple. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It depends on there's so many different variables. And
very.
whenever I found that out, I told Rick, I said, you little bastard, you're lucky I don't stomp you into the damn pavement.
Yeah, I agree, and that's the thing that is such a variable. There's so many variables in the hound world, especially when it comes to handlers. That
Yeah.
that there's no 100% right way to do this or that, or this dog should be cut, this dog should not, this dog should be bred, this shouldn't. It all 100% depends on the person, on how they hunt, what they hunt, and the situations they put their dogs in.
Yep. And it's all up to the individual, because like I ain't gotta like your dogs and he ain't gotta like my dogs, because we ain't gotta feed each other's hound.
No,
So what
I don't.
That's
you
exactly
happy
right.
don't have to make me happy, don't have to make nobody else happy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Chris's dogs just because they're Chris's dogs. I mean, whatever.
I don't like my dogs either.
No, but
Chris.
you guys, this is what happens when all of us get together in a group and we start posturing and we start bowing up and we get our little testosterone out of our pocket and spit it around the dirt. And you know, I don't care what you have for dogs. If
Yeah.
they work for you, I'm not going to badmouth your dogs. That doesn't mean that I want to take them home with me, but we all
Exactly.
have different ideas and we all have different expectations. And if we're not good, it's just like I said last week whenever I said, if you want to whine, go lay under the bush and whine. If you're not happy with what you've got and you're jealous of what somebody else has, make some changes, whether it's in your dogs or in yourself, and strive to do better. And beyond that, what the hell's it matter? Whatever makes somebody else happy works for them.
Benny, do you know what a mic drop is?
There it was.
Benny, hold your hand out and drop it.
Just drop it.
And Chris can do his drawing now, because that was there's
Yeah.
no better way to end that right there.
I think we need to do this drawing. I don't know how many times it's going to take either.
We'll find out.
You
But
guys ready for the drawing? Let me go back.
Yeah,
up.
see if I get lucky right here.
I screwed the numbers up at first.
yeah, we noticed.
Well, I wrote the wrong name down. There's your numbers. That look right? Anderson, you have 5 in there. Just 1 in the front, 1 in the back.
Yeah, that's right. I think so.
You ready?
Yeah, it looks perfect. I don't see Jared's name in there anywhere.
No. Oh, no. You should have seen the message. The message on the PayPal or Venmo was Sarah, not Jared.
So if Sarah wins, we are going to ask Sarah what she wants to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See how many times I have to draw before we get
Something under
below
20.
20. Yep.
Well, we got
74.
1 in 5 chances.
Yeah, 74. 55. 4.
Oh,
Who was 4?
Robert.
Robert.
Oh,
Robert Chase. Way
Congratulations.
to go.
Well, then let me show you. I don't want no one saying that I didn't.
We'll give
Robert Chase.
We'll give it to the
I couldn't get
Colorado native.
I didn't have a pocket right here, so I couldn't get the 18 out of it real quick. There you go, Robert. Whiny baby snow hunting, no good for nothing. Snow hunter. Why would a snow hunter win it?
Oh, gotta love
You don't
it.
need it. You just follow the track in the snow. It's easy. Gene, you were right in the end.
Right past it.
Like right, Evan beat you to it. Like right as I looked, Evan had it. But Robert's disqualified because he lives in Colorado, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Can we agree on
Right.
this?
I agree. Can we redo it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go again.
It's our show. We
Well-
can do what we want.
Robert, but you guys, Robert's mentally challenged. He actually thinks that green chili in Colorado is better than green chili in New Mexico.
That
Oh,
is
so-
true.
I didn't know that. Yeah, we need to redraw
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
shit.
He
Oh, did
hunts
I
with
say
a bicycle
4?
helmet.
Although I
said
can't.
44.
I do owe Robert something. When we were at the rendezvous, he funded me a little drinks there that I wasn't prepared for. So I do owe Robert something. I'll vouch for him on this one.
And he has been putting a lot of money in on the raffles and stuff.
Robert's a good guy.
So he's probably going to break even.
Probably.
He's gonna have to sell this now and pay his debt back to his wife or whoever gave him that money.
Well,
Well, there you go,
Well,
Robert. Robert
whatever.
won it.
So Robert wins. Robert wins a dog box for a side by side through Apex Dog Boxes, and he has
Yep.
his choice of a Garmin Alpha XL, a Garmin handheld and TT25, or 3 TT25s, or some cash. So
Yep. What did we
whatever
say?
you do.
$11? Didn't we say $11?
Yeah, I think it was
remember
only
what
$11.
I got to delete this real quick. and anybody who put in on this dog box raffle, if you want a dog box, because someone asked me and said, "Hey, what if I just want to go buy one because I won't win it if I don't win it?" So I called Apex, and he said, "If you buy a dog box from us and you're on the raffle, I'll give you $500 off on a side by side and $1,000 off on a truck
Damn.
dog box."
That's awesome.
Can't beat that.
No, hard to beat.
No, that's a heck of a deal. Good.
Yep.
Good for him.
And Robert,
that's pretty sweet.
the dog box you won is just a plain Jane dog box, and if you want to upgrade it, he's going to hook you up with an upgrade at a super good price.
And I'm sure, I don't know if Robert has a side by side, but I'm sure he'd work with him on using something towards something else too. I bet. But
yeah, what do you need a side by for when you're hunting snow? You just drive around
Yeah,
all
you
day
could-
and find a track.
He could get a custom made dog box for his snowshoes.
yeah,
Yep.
it's gonna have to have some big head holes because those blue ticks he runs got some big old noggins.
Oh, Robert texting me. Extended. And he said if you, well, I don't know when you're gonna be able to pick dog box up or if you're just going.
What he said, throw it all back in.
I think that's what it said. It said send a link. Does that mean throw it back in? I'm pretty sure it's when. No, good job, Robert. Appreciate your support. We appreciate everybody's support, no matter how mad we make you. We still love you. Like, dog. Hey, we got God. We're gonna. I'm afraid to start this. I want to play a couple of those videos. I want to.
You're gonna ruin a good night.
Yeah, don't do it. We're having a good day.
You think I should wait? You don't think
Can
I
we
should
wait?
just play the 2-minute one where they showed the videos of how horrible and ruthless and cruel we are?
I think we should do a whole week about it because we got, what is it, April 11th coming up that they are planning on coming to the Fish and Game.
Yeah.
So Arizona needs to show up again.
And if you want to see the video, actually, you could just go to azwda.com, go to the tab that says, what does it say? Media and articles. And it's on there. Scroll down at the bottom. I have the media release and I have the little webinar they recorded. It's the first time I recorded, kind of screwed up in the end, but you can hear everything. But
Sorry, fellas. I had a screaming, crying child in there.
It's gonna make you want to puke. It's ridiculous. Just go check out that webinar. It's on my site, azwda.com. Go to the media page. Just listen to it, man. It's ridiculous. It's nothing. Anybody I've sent it to, I've gotten a text within 5 minutes saying this is ridiculous. I mean, it's the first, and it's what they believe. That's all. It's all it is what they believe. But there's nothing that they can put a fact on and stamp it as certifiable wildlife management. It's emotional rhetoric, and that's their business. That's their right as American. They can say whatever they want, but you got to be careful because they're a C3. Just because we lie a lot doesn't mean they have to.
They twist it enough to have a tiny amount of fact and a complete amount of bullshit.
Yeah.
And it really was like disheartening just as a human being to see the complete like lying and bullshit that they put out there.
The key word, it's bullshit.
That people
really is
believe. Like
Ugh.
I could come in as just an outdoorsman, not a houndsman, and watch that and see through the complete shit that they're putting out. But
Yeah.
the people that watch that can't. They're so uneducated that they don't uneducated and ignorant that they don't know the difference, and they still give them money. That's what
And
sucks
there's
so
your
bad.
You just said it right there. This is where we differ. This is where the canon divides us. When you go to their donations, it's ridiculous.
It's
If
stupid.
we had that donation system right now, just with AWDA, if we had that
He
donation,
did it.
well, I got my website's AZWDA. If we had that donation system, if every sportsman just gave an organization $25 a day, $30 a day, I mean, it's a list. These guys are on a subscription basis of $25 to $30 a month. You
Well,
know,
and that's what Chris is saying. Is it's not just what Chris said was great. Is it's not what he meant was every sportsman, not just houndsman.
Yep.
That's what we would like to accomplish. Is every sportsman, not just to rely on the houndsman. We want
Yep.
every sportsman to back what we're after, because in the end, it's going to affect us all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're getting. Is it's not just a certain type of snowflake. It's every snowflake, and it sucks.
And they get
I'm
the
gonna-
unsuspecting public too,
Yeah.
because they hit them with that feel good hearts and minds little press release with a baby ocelot on there talking about,
Oh,
like you talked about the picture of the baby bear that you killed 5 years later. You
Yeah.
know,
well, and Robert,
I'd feel terrible too if I killed that bear. He was this big.
yeah,
Yeah.
Robert said, "Who has 30 dogs in their truck in Arizona?" I said, "Just because that they said it was Arizona, just like the 2 Jaguars they say that's in Arizona.
That's
What was
Mexico.
in Belize? Like
Yeah.
whatever they say may not be the truth."
No.
It is
Well,
limited.
there's-
Dog.
even in their pictures they show, those trees don't grow here, boys.
No.
There's Doug firs in the background of some of that. That ain't here.
When we're done tonight, I'm gonna play that video the last 2 or 3 minutes. I'm just gonna play it and we'll be done. That's just gonna give you guys a little taste of what it is. I just did the videos they showed, and they were like, "Listen, people, if you don't like gruesome stuff, don't watch this." And then they played it, and I'm all, "Where? There was no blood. There was no guts. They said, 'Oh, look at this pregnant lion,' and I couldn't tell if it was pregnant or fat because it just ate a deer or whatever."
It was bad.
And then it fell off a cliff. But I don't know if that cliff behind them was 3 feet or 30 feet or 300 feet, but they didn't show the rest of that. So that's how they do. They manipulate, hard manipulation.
Yeah.
You guys got to listen to that podcast I sent you.
I'll listen to it tomorrow, Jared. I'll call you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
because it's a biologist in Oregon where they shut lying hunting down with dogs. And he talks about it. He's like, there's feed for mule deer everywhere, but yet our numbers are still declining.
Because they're not managed.
Because no predator is managed in Oregon.
Yeah.
They
And
went
they
from
put
having
them wolves.
they went from having a 1,200 cow tags in one unit to now nothing, and there's hardly a successful draw or a successful hunt for a cow tag.
Yeah, that's rough.
So, and they just really go into it.
Yeah. I'll listen to it tomorrow. I'll give you a call. But
It just says a lot of points that you can argue with and be like, no, what they're saying is BS. This guy's been doing it in a state where you already took it out of it, and he says this is terrible.
Yep.
Since 1993, he said it was bad.
Yep. Well, I mean, you look at the reverse that California is starting to do with the bears.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because of they're causing so many problems. And I'm not saying it's everyone in California, but they're trying to bring back a way to manage and deter these bears because they're starting to cause so many problems. But on top of that, they're piggybacking something to do with lions on top of that.
Yeah.
So
Well, California is so screwed up. So there's only 500,000 deer in California. 500,000. They have 4,000 to 6,000 mountain lions, 75,000 bears.
Higher.
Is it 85,000?
They're
95?
over 85,000. That by spring they'll be at 100,000.
Yeah.
100,000 bears, 500,000 coyotes, and like 30 or 40,000 bobcats. Don't quote me on the bobcats. You cannot keep a deer herd alive within 15 years with that.
Plus,
I mean, just between the lions and bears, they're gonna knock the fawn down and.
But add the hunting population of California that hunt deer on top of that. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. They went from 2 million deer to 500,000 since 1990.
They could open up a year-round, 24/7 Utah-style assault on those bears, and we'd never get that number down.
No, the bear's not going to be. You can't get the bears back down to a manageable number. It's not.
There's too many.
It will take years and years. And
Guess
years.
what? Guess what happened in Nevada like 2 years after California closed hound hunting for bears? Nevada got a bear season.
Yeah, best bear hunting you can have.
Yep.
Yep. Well, there you have it.
Hey, Chris, send what's I
already did.
She just wanted that link.
I just sent it to her.
Okay.
Well, they say they want to see the video, Chris.
Yep.
Have at it.
All right.
I'm gonna
play it right now.
I'm gonna go throw.
You out of here?
Toilet. No, I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
go
throw.
Oh yeah.
I got a bucket here.
It's
You guys.
Oh, Benny,
I'm gonna
you wait.
go.
Wait till
No.
you see this shit.
No,
Yeah,
I got
Benny.
it. He sent it
Oh,
to me already.
I sent him the whole video.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Well, here's a little taste, guys. Here's a little taste.
Oh, wait,
Yes, we can see it.
You're good. Anderson wants to know what's this month's raffle is. I just saw a comment. I see him before Chris does. I actually pay attention.
Oh, hey man. What's this month's raffle? I don't know. Maybe another Garmin 40 spot.
I'm good. I'm good to do a Garmin 40 spot if that's what you guys want. Cold Strike will do what we need to. So
Garmin 40 spot.
Four options, $50 a spot, 40 spots.
There you go.
Perfect.
Nobody's giving it to Jared this time.
Nobody's giving it.
Don't fill it. Don't fill this one up so quick. Gotta try to get into this in a week or so. But it's gonna
It'll take a little while. 40 spots, $50 spot. You get your choice, your 4 choices. Money, Garmin XL, Garmin 300, or collars. There you go.
And so just so everybody understands exactly how this works is I'm bound by so much with Garmin to have to sell it for a certain price. So anything we get over that all goes back to the ADWA. I'm not taking anything. I try to give everything back to the ADWA, but I have to make sure
you made
every time I have to make sure that I do it legit with Garmin so I can keep my license. That's all I care about. So just so everybody understands that's how those work. I want to be upfront about that.
I think we should do a contest where Chris has to shave his beard if he loses.
Oh yeah. You know, I will be broke and poor and I've turned down big jobs. I'm talking like probably 7-figure jobs because they wanted me to shave my beard.
Nobody wants to see what's under that. That's the shit nightmares are made of.
Nope.
I just want to see if he has a butt chin or not.
I do.
Oh, dude.
How do you not know? Look at it.
It's not a butt chin. It's one of those big dimples.
Yeah.
It separates. It already separates because of my butt chin. So look at it. It won't go together. It's so big. All right, guys. I'm going to play this video.
Play the movie. Yeah.
There you go.
Play it.
Oh, it makes me sick. Makes me sick. There we go. CBD video.
Yes, we can see it. In this video also, there's no sound to it. So I'm going to talk over it a little bit until the very end where there is a little bit of sound. But this demonstrates the technology that anyone can purchase at this point now. These collars get fitted on dogs. They go out running. You can watch them from your phone. And here you see exactly what that looks like. It looks a little bit like a video game. This is just some video from the dogs who are piling out of a car, and you can tell just how many dogs they let loose at any given time to set to work on hounding. So it's an awful lot of dogs packed into this truck. And the noise is incredible. And these sometimes are people who are enjoying sitting back and waiting and watching from their cell phones. They don't have to go anywhere. This has nothing to do with chase. Where there was a little bit of sound, but here you can see they're watching their phones again, and they're able to just
Good dogs. Yeah. Good boy, Blaze. Good boy. Good dogs. Good dogs. Good dogs. Get him.
You like that
So-
gunshot? You
so
like that?
I know the dogs in that video. They're out of Utah.
I figured someone would because they got that tattoo. They got that brand on their ear.
Plain and simple. I know that brand, and I know the kid who runs them.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have to call
Yeah.
him. I mean, he
This
has
is-
nothing to do with it, but they stole his video, plain and simple.
That's just a little example of what they got on there. They have a whole lot more saying, don't look, it's gruesome, and it's nothing. It's a couple swats. There's no blood. Like, I thought it was going to be a good dog fight.
Just want to
Yeah.
say, I have had a beer when I got back to the
I
truck,
would have chosen a different kind at least.
and then noticed my dog went back to the tree and had to hike to go get it. Throwing up foam's a real thing when you're pushing it.
Well, it was how they tried to stereotype the houndsman, too.
Like no one is sitting back and drinking a beer
No.
while their dog's running, unless you like throwing up with a bubble gut.
And those guys are sitting in like North Mississippi on a tailgate.
Well,
Like-
and that the first dog was a bird dog.
Yeah.
It was a bird dog. So, and it was a dog truck. No one uses that crap. Well, not everyone. Some people do.
Not everyone.
I'm sorry. I forgot.
So much is poor.
Yep.
That never-ending supply of dogs coming out of that pickup reminded me of way back in the day in the 70s when they had the Volkswagen out there at the rodeo and 25 clowns climbed out of it.
Yep.
And that wasn't very recent footage. Didn't look like either. That looked like some old camera stuff.
We've
you break
crammed
it-
dogs.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
crammed dogs in a dog box. Like, hey, everyone's here, but my truck's two roads over. So you throw everyone in the dog box, you jump on top of the dog box, and you get a ride back to your truck. Yeah, the dogs are crammed, but they're only crammed for 5 minutes.
You've also got
Well, next week we could go through that. I'll chop it up, and we can talk about exactly. I have to make something that can be put out there that explains every bit of it, just like that article.
I wish those people would literally just come with us. Come with Jared. Come with me. See how much sitting in the truck looking at our video game we do.
Yep.
Because I promise you, you're gonna wear out of gas and wear out of boots before we get anywhere near them dogs. And I don't care what that first lady was talking about. There ain't a mule in this world to keep up with my blue dogs. It ain't gonna fucking happen. It ain't gonna happen. It wouldn't happen if you were running them on a in Kansas. Like
Yeah,
there's
you get
no
in
way
that
these
mountain
dogs-
country. You get in
them
that
dogs are
mountain country. There's a
fucking-
lot of getting off and leading. You're not on your mule the whole time. You're getting off. You got to lead. You know, he's hopping down, hopping up on stuff. Mules
go through
can
that
be a
country.
hindrance until you have to walk back to the truck.
They go through that country way too fast to keep up with them. She's talking about keeping inside of the dogs.
those and I could put it
You
on.
can't do that with my shit.
Make a commercial.
Telling you, they're gone.
I'm gone.
Gone. Well, there you have it, guys. That's what we're up against. So, another raffle. Next week, we could probably break down that video. You'll probably see a lot of TikToks and stuff from me about it. So, anything else? Anybody got anything to say here? Oh, I better check comments here. I'm going to go back to my page. Alabama deer dogs. Was that Brett's truck and dogs?
I want to know where
Honest-
those green fields are to hunt in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's down south by Jared. All those green
Yeah.
fields.
Never. We have endless water in the desert. And
Well, the
If
funny
it looked
thing,
like that down there, we'd catch a lot more. By God.
yeah.
you know what's funny about those dogs coming out is it might have been a funny video someone made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Threw all the dogs in, like they don't say what it is. So
Well,
I
you just see the repeat of the dogs too. They're all the same dogs.
And that's
You'd
what's
have to-
hard is they can take any video
Yep.
that's out there and spin it and put it in any way that they want, which is disgusting.
Yep. But we'll keep you informed. That's what we're here to do. Where can I look that video up at? azwda.com. Go to the media article page. Just go
You
up
can
top, click on the tab.
watch the whole thing, right, Chris?
Yep,
and it's
the
like
whole
an
thing's on
hour
there.
and
It's an hour
something.
and
It's an
Wow.
hour, just a tad bit over an hour, and
It's disgusting.
if you were to take
Yeah.
notes.
Frustrating. You get mad at your phone watching it.
Well, I was
even when
I was
Chris
trying to take clips.
streaming it, I was pissed.
I know, and that's why I streamed it. And I was trying to take just clips that were you. The whole thing is just the whole thing is that the whole thing.
Bullshit.
You can't just take one clip. Like we'll break it down next week. Is what we'll do. I'll bust it up in little segments and we'll go through it.
Okay.
Butt chin. Well, there we go, Rick. God
Yeah.
damn.
I like it, Rick. I agree. It's
I know.
either a big old butt chin or it's one of those big circles that he has to pick Lynn out of sooner or later.
Tells me he's gonna throw me off the cliff last week. Now calls me butt chin this week. I might have to block him. Thanks everybody for coming tonight, and thanks for
thank
everybody
you.
who donated
you,
and put in on
guys.
that. That was the quickest raffle we've ever done in our life.
Well, and it's appreciated because anything that's on top of the cost we have to cover goes to a cause to support hound hunting. Yes, we're working for Arizona now, but Chris has bigger goals.
Yeah.
He has goals for more than Arizona.
I know they had to talk me out of naming it American.
I wish you would.
Dog Life.
I wish you would have, because we're gonna end up being that
I
way
know.
anyway. I already been dealing with guys for that shit in Kentucky and Virginia.
We've gotten good response from a lot of organizations. We've got good response from the Game and Fish.
Yep.
We've gotten we have 90 members. 90 members in 2 months.
Which is awesome.
What's shameful about it is there's only like 30 of them that are from Arizona.
Yeah.
The rest are, we got good donors right now. We just got to figure out, man, it's about the money. I hate to say it. And
it's shitty that that's what it comes down to
Yeah.
in this world. But in the end, to fight these, I'm not even gonna say it, to fight these people.
Yeah.
That's something that has to be had. And I wish I could give more than I can. I give what I can. And that's all that we do is every one of us gives what we can. We all wish we could do more.
Our time is what we really put in. Me and Derek were Saturday down at an R3 meeting, Game and Fish. Made a lot of good friends. I mean, that's 4-hour drive one way for me. So I didn't get home until 8 o'clock.
Long way
I had
to
leave at 4. And then we were stuck in traffic. Holy, you guys don't even know.
2
From
hours.
the Game and Fish.
I know.
From the Game and Fish to the highway, which is a mile and a half, took us an hour.
Oh, because they had the freeway
Yes.
shut down. That was a joke.
Oh, and they had a cowboy shooting, they had a clay shooting, and they had R3. It was horrible. It was stupid, dumb, but it's what we have to go through.
How come you didn't run backwards and go back over on Lake Pleasant Drive and run the 303 and circle around?
Because
I was on the E.
was out of gas.
Yeah, I had to sell a quiver to have gas to go to that thing. Like we ain't rich guys out there, we're doing what we can. But yeah, I had to go to the immediate gas station. I wasn't gonna make it nowhere. I was on zero.
That's dedication right there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Then I yelled at him. I'm like, dude, just call me. Give me some gas money.
Yeah, I was like 40 minutes late because I had to go sell a quiver to a guy, so I had gas money to get up there.
Call me.
But that's what it takes. That's what it takes, and that's what we're doing. And if anybody has any ideas, just go to azwda.com, send us an email or something, and tell us what we're doing wrong or tell us what we can do right.
Yep. Now you know where to find me. You want to cuss me out and tell me I'm a POS, you know where to find me.
Yep.
We're easy to find.
Peoria, Arizona.
Absolutely. I'll give you a number. We'll go meet. So
Yep.
I'll send you an
Alright,
awning.
Thanks
Well,
for
like I
coming
said,
on. Next
thanks,
week,
everybody.
we're going to break it down. And April 11th, we're not going to push nothing too hard right now because we don't want to confuse it with the March 21st meeting, whatever that date is.
Yeah.
It'll be April 11th. So anybody that wants to go to the Game and Fish, start planning on April 11th.
Yep.
And we're not going to really play too nice.
No.
I'm going to expose some stuff before and during and while we're there.
Yep.
So, but azwda.com, donate, become a member, watch the videos. That's all I got. Anybody else?
Thank you. That's all I got to say is thank you.
Thank everybody.
Benny, thank you for gracing us with your presence and your
Dude,
knowledge.
Benny's always got these little nuggets that I pick up, and I love them every
I
day.
love it. That's why I always got to stop and ask Benny a question, because one of these days Benny's not going to show up and I'm going to be lost. So,
Yep.
Well, we never know when our day is, but it's coming.
no, that's exactly right. So I'm going to keep asking questions while I can.
Yep. Because Benny's, man, he's got some good answers.
Yep.
I miss Larry Hendricks and I miss Bill Workman, and I used to talk to Dale Lee on the telephone, and there's a bunch of them guys.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All righty. Till next week.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes,
See you
sir.
Wednesday.
See you guys.
Hasta.